99% of creators have no clue what AI can actually do for their scripts. Yes, there's no such thing as an AI that writes perfect YouTube scripts with one click, but there is such a thing as an AI that writes 90% of a video script in less time than it takes you to pick a thumbnail font. And no, it's not some Google Doc template I found on Reddit. So let's just address something that might have stopped many of you from looking into AI for scripts before. Wanting AI to write your scripts for you doesn't make you less of a creator, and it does not make you lazy. The smartest creators I know aren't the ones locked in their room with 7 cups of coffee, rewriting an intro line for the 4th hour in a row. They're the ones figuring out how to do the same work in a fraction of the time without sacrificing quality. They're not stuck in burnout, they're focused on growing their channel, brand, and bank account. And that's exactly what this video is about. I'm going to show you which AI script writer actually gets you results you can see in your dashboard, your comments, and your retention graph. And I'm going to do it by breaking down every major AI tool creators are talking about right now. Over the last 6 months, I've tested over 17 different AI tools and spent over $1,200 of my own money. I used that to script 11 of my own videos and track the watch time, retention, and CTR on every single one. These scripts have generated over 2.3 million views across my channels, including faceless, personal brand, and other formats. What I found out is that most of you creators right now are spending your weekends writing one script, maybe 2 if you cancel plans. And even then, you're constantly redoing the intro, can't manage to get the hook right, and bouncing between apps trying to find the right tone, all for a video that maybe gets 1,800 views if the algorithm is feeling generous. Meanwhile, other creators with no team, no budget, and sometimes less skill are dropping 3 videos a week, each one formatted to retain attention, build curiosity, and convert viewers. And they're doing it with a workflow that takes them under 30 minutes per script. So judging by my own experience, you've probably tried AI, plugged in the prompt, and got back something that kind of worked. But it didn't sound like you. You had to rewrite half of it, and you told yourself, guess I still have to do most of the work. That's not your fault. Most of these tools weren't built for YouTubers. They were built for marketers, bloggers, or SEO nerds, not someone who's trying to publish videos without sounding like they just Googled how to be relatable. So of course you're frustrated. Believe me, I was too. But that's also when I realized this wasn't about finding the one perfect tool, it was about building a smarter way to figure out which tools actually help you grow. So I made this video to finally set things straight. I created what I call the AI scripting report card. It's a rating system I built around the 5 things that actually matter when you're writing YouTube scripts with AI. Every tool in today's lineup will be rated on these 5 criteria. First, ease of use. How easy is it to start using the tool? Can you understand everything inside without having to figure out a complicated process? Second, preparation. Every good video needs research and value behind it, so we'll look at how well each tool helps you gather the information you need before you start writing the script. Third, quality. This is the actual script output. How good is it, and how much of it can you use right away without rewriting half of it? Fourth, features. So what kind of things does the tool actually give you to make the job easier as a creator? And finally, cost. Not just how cheap or expensive it is, but whether the price actually makes sense compared to the results you get. With that all set, let's start with the first tool in today's test, the one basically everyone knows by now, Chatgpt. When you log into Chatgpt, you're met with a very simple window. That's one of its biggest strengths, clean, familiar, and almost everyone has used it before. But what we're focused on here is how easy it is to use for YouTube script writing. The best way to get consistent results is by using the custom GPTs option. While you can just chat with it, if you want better output, you need to configure it yourself. That means uploading files, writing instructions, and setting up conversation starters. And if you want ChatGPT to handle your whole YouTube workflow, things like ideas, scripts, titles, even thumbnails, you'll probably need to build a separate custom GPT for each task. That's more setup time instead of just creating content. On top of that, prompting plays a huge role. If you don't write really detailed prompts, the results are almost always generic. For example, when I asked it to write a YouTube script for a video about the best AI video generator called Google VO3, the output was underwhelming. It gave me a very generic hook, too short, that wouldn't even make a 3-minute video. This shows us that ChatGPT is not optimized for YouTube at all. So while ChatGPT feels simple at first for script writing, it quickly becomes complicated. That's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 on ease of use. This is where ChatGPT can actually be pretty helpful. Even if a short prompt won't give you a full script, it's good at pulling together prep notes and ideas. The main feature here is deep research. I asked it to gather all the information about Google VO3 for my video on AI video generators, and instead of giving out an instant answer, it asked follow-up questions, then searched across the web, pulling from multiple sources and organizing it all into a usable format. Now, you can't blindly trust everything it finds. It's searching by keywords, not judging credibility, so you'll need to double check facts. But as a way to top up your own research, it's really solid. In my test, it pulled from around 33 different sources, which is a decent spread. So if you're looking to quickly add extra value to your video and make sure you're not missing anything, this feature is useful. Where it falls short is when you try to feed that research back in for script writing. Chatgpt often ignores details, forgets half the info, or gets overwhelmed unless you give it a super detailed prompt. So it's good for you as the creator to scan through, but not for directly generating a finished script. That's why I'm giving Chatgpt a 5 out of 10 on preparation. When it comes to quality, you get two outcomes. If you're great at prompting and willing to spend time writing long detailed prompts, you can get decent results, but it takes a lot of effort. If not, the results are generic and weak. To test this, I asked Chatgpt to create a detailed prompt template for generating a full YouTube script. It gave me one, I filled in the details, and had it generate a video on Google VO3. The script it produced looked alright on the surface, but had a lot of fluff and filler lines you wouldn't actually use. And when I measured the length, it was only about 5 minutes of spoken content, even though I had asked for 10. From testing a few topics, this seems to be a cap. Chatgpt scripts rarely stretch beyond that 5-minute mark. So in terms of quality, I can't give it more than a 4 out of 10. Either you spend ages prompting to get something half decent, or you spend ages rewriting the fluff out of what it gives you. Either way, it usually creates more work than starting from scratch. Chatgpt does have a few useful features. Deep research is the standout. You also have projects, which let you set a universal prompt for simple tasks like title creation. And of course, there are custom GPTs, where you can upload files and shape the AI to your needs. But honestly, when it comes to YouTube script writing specifically, that's pretty much where it caps out. So for features, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Right now, Chatgpt has two options: the Plus plan at $20 per month and the Pro plan at $200 per month. Pro gives you more deep research, the advanced custom model, and some extras, but even if you're using it for YouTube script writing, the Plus plan is more than enough. So for cost, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So overall, Chatgpt is a solid support tool for script writing. It's great for research, brainstorming, and quick logical breakdowns. But if you're expecting it to write a full polished script word for word, it's not reliable, especially compared to the tools coming up next. And that brings us to Claude AI. When you log into Claude, the setup looks a lot like Chatgpt. On the left is your history. On the right, you can switch between Sonnet for quick tasks and Opus 4.1 for more complex work like YouTube scripts. You can also tweak the writing style, but most presets are either too stiff or too short for scripts. The custom one that allows you to upload your past scripts so Claude learns your brand voice is actually pretty decent. But the most useful feature here is projects. You set a description for your video, and Claude keeps that context throughout. For example, I asked it to draft a project description for a Google VO3 video, and it gave me a clean framework I could drop right in. From there, you can upload files, add notes, and guide Claude more directly. That said, the same issue as Chatgpt shows up. Prompting still matters a lot. If you're vague, the results are weak. If you're detailed, the results improve, but that slows things down. For script writing, that lack of consistency hurts. So for ease of use, Claude gets a 6 out of 10. Good, but not as straightforward as Chatgpt. Claude's research mode works almost exactly like Chatgpt's. I gave it the same prompt: gather all the information about Google VO3 for my video on AI video generators. But again, credibility is a problem. Claude scraped info from hundreds of sources, but the final output looked very similar to Chatgpt's, only slower. And even though it claimed to check over 230 sources, I didn't see much extra depth compared to ChatGPT's 30 or so. So while you can find useful bits here, you still need your own base of knowledge and fact-checking. That's why, just like ChatGPT, Claude gets a 5 out of 10 for preparation. Claude does a bit better than ChatGPT at script writing. The structure feels cleaner, and the phrasing is sometimes more natural. It even pulled in some live info on Google VO3 while drafting. But once you look closer, the problems show up. The hook starts strong, then falls into clunky AI phrasing, short robotic lines like "no camera," "no microphone, just this," or exaggerated claims like "this changes everything." This is not something I'd actually say on camera. Another issue is that even when I asked for a full word-for-word script, it mixed in bullet points and stage directions. And in terms of length, I asked for 10 minutes, but the usable script was closer to 5 after cutting filler. The same issue I ran into with ChatGPT. So while Claude is slightly more persuasive than ChatGPT, it still needs heavy editing before it's usable. That's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 on quality. Claude's best feature is projects, where you can upload files and keep the AI focused on your specific video. That alone makes it better for long-form work than just chatting in a blank window. It also has deep research, which is nice for quick fact gathering, and you could use it for smaller things like subtitles or testing hook variations. But beyond that, it doesn't offer much tailored for script writing. So I give it a 5 out of 10 on features. Claude's plans are pretty simple. Pro at $20 per month, max at $100 per month. Pro unlocks the important stuff like projects and deep research, so you'll need at least that. The big drawback is usage limits. Unlike ChatGPT's standard chat, you can actually hit a ceiling with Claude, which is frustrating if you're mid-project. Unless you're a heavy user though, the $20 Pro plan is enough. So for cost, Claude also gets a 7 out of 10. So overall, Claude is a solid chatbot if you just need support on smaller tasks like brainstorming hooks, testing phrasing, or gathering extra info, but it's still heavily reliant on prompting, and it doesn't bring much new to the table compared to ChatGPT. Because of that, I wouldn't really recommend Claude AI if your main goal is writing scripts. But what I might actually recommend instead is the next tool in our lineup, which is Poppy AI. This tool is built specifically for creators by creators with one purpose in mind: writing YouTube scripts. Let's take a look. When you first log into Poppy AI, you immediately notice that it looks completely different from ChatGPT or Claude. Instead of just a simple chat box, you get a clean workspace called a board. This is your starting window, and everything you do inside Poppy is organized into boards. To create a new one, you just click New Board up here, and right away, you'll see something that's honestly rare in AI tools: a built-in video tutorial from the founders showing you exactly how to use it. With most AI tools, you're usually left on your own, maybe hunting for a YouTube video to figure things out. But here, every single feature has a short walkthrough, so you never feel stuck. This is great for YouTube creators because learning fast means you spend more time actually producing content instead of figuring out how the tool works. Now, once the board is created, the interface looks like a whiteboard. On the left, you have a set of buttons that let you add different types of content. You can open a chat window, drop in social media content, add Facebook ads if you need them, upload a transcription, insert images or text files, paste links, upload full documents, or even create something called groups. Groups are one of the most powerful features here. Think of them as collections of references the AI can pull from. So for example, I can create a group called My Videos and add 4 of my past YouTube videos into it. That means when I ask Poppy to write a script, it can study the exact tone, structure, and style of how I've written before. And that's huge because when your scripts stay consistent with your voice, viewers instantly recognize your style and are more likely to keep coming back. Then I can create another group, let's say for research on Google VO3, and drop in videos or documents about that. Now, instead of Poppy just guessing or scraping random sites like ChatGPT or Claude would, it's pulling directly from verified sources, in this case, videos that already have proven engagement. And if I want to double check anything, I can just look at the comments on those videos to see what viewers are actually saying. And here's where it gets even better. Hover over almost any setting in Poppy, and you'll get a short explainer video from the founders walking you through it. Every AI tool has features that can feel complicated, but Poppy has literally built guidance into the platform, so you're never lost. Now let me show you how you actually talk to the AI. If I open the chat window, I can link in the groups I just created, like My Videos and Google VO3, so the AI uses those as the foundation when generating the script. You can also upload images or connect other references, but just linking those two groups alone already makes the outputs more accurate than anything you'd get with a generic chatbot. And one really cool thing here is that Poppy lets you use the best models from both ChatGPT and Claude inside the platform without paying extra for their subscriptions. That feature alone makes them almost unnecessary, because Poppy is basically giving you the best of both worlds in one place. So in terms of ease of use, Poppy is miles ahead. The board system makes everything visual and organized. The built-in tutorials make learning effortless, and the ability to pull directly from your own groups gives you full control over the AI. I'd easily give it a 9 out of 10. What I'll do now is unlink my own videos from the chat and only leave the group I made for Google VO3. From here, I'll type in a simple prompt that's adjusted to fit Poppy's environment. I'm writing a YouTube video. I want you to gather all the information from the attached videos in the Google VO3 group and give me everything I need to know for my script on this topic. Once I hit enter, you can see the difference immediately. The output is structured, is neatly organized, and is directly tied to what people on YouTube actually care about. Compared to ChatGPT or Claude, which just throw back general information from random sources, this approach makes sure you're working with content that's already been validated by real viewers. This matters a lot because using proven audience-approved content increases the chance your own video will resonate and hold attention instead of guessing what might work. Because think about it, If a video ranks at the top of YouTube and has good engagement, then the information inside of it is already proven to matter to the audience. That's a huge advantage. And the best part is that you don't have to go through that whole extra process we talked about before. Downloading research, saving it as PDFs, uploading it back into the AI, and then constantly reminding it to use that data. Here, all you do is connect your group of videos directly to the chat, and Poppy uses them as the foundation. It saves time, it's cleaner, and it keeps everything locked to what actually works for YouTube. Now, I'm not going to show the script just yet. That's something we'll review in the next section. But as far as preparation goes, Poppy is easily the best tool out of the three. I give it a 9 out of 10. Alright, so now that we've already set up our groups inside Poppy, one with my own videos, so it has my tone and my brand voice, and the other with videos all about Google VO3, so it has the actual content references. Let's actually go through the process of writing a script with it, the same way we did with Chatgpt and Claude. I'll just type a very simple instruction, something like, use my brand voice, but write me a full YouTube script for a video on Google VO3 as the best AI video generator. Make it engaging, keep it in my casual but professional tone, and naturally include a call to action to join my email list. And right away, Poppy starts pulling from my groups, mixing my tone with the content references, and giving me back a structured YouTube script. Looking at the output, it's honestly impressive compared to Chatgpt or Claude. First of all, it actually keeps the script word for word, instead of throwing in a bunch of bullet points or visual instructions like the others did. Second, because it's pulling from my voice group, the phrasing actually feels closer to how I talk in my videos. It's not perfect, there are still some little robotic phrases here and there, but it's way closer to usable than the half-fluff drafts we got from the other tools. Another thing I noticed is that the hook it generates is much more in line with YouTube. Instead of just spitting out generic "this changes everything" type lines, it actually sounds like something I would say, because it's been trained on my own past content. This is powerful for YouTube because a normal style of talking feels more natural on camera and keeps viewers engaged longer, which directly helps retention. It also includes all the necessary things like rehooking the viewer throughout the video, as you can see right here, and that makes a huge difference when it comes down to retention. Now, of course, like with any AI tool, the final quality depends a lot on the effort you put into this setup. So if you just throw in 1 or 2 random videos, or you just use the normal chat box without connecting anything, then the results are going to be pretty similar to what you would get with Chatgpt or Claude. But what makes it actually easier than just sitting there and prompting over and over again is that you're doing something that, in a way, feels kind of fun. You're already on YouTube, you're already finding a couple of your own videos, maybe even grabbing a few videos from other creators whose delivery style you like, and then just throwing them into a group. Now, the AI is copying that delivery, and it doesn't even have to be videos you've watched all the way through yourself. You just grab the best ones on the topic, and now they're part of your reference group, and everything is just sitting there, basically at your fingertips. Instead of writing out tons of text prompts, you're just copying a few URLs, asking the AI for a script or an idea, and boom, you've got it. So when it comes down to quality, I honestly can't give it anything less than a 10 out of 10. When it comes down to features inside Poppy, there are honestly a ton of them. But the one I really want to point out, the one that makes the biggest difference for script writing, is using Poppy as your analyzer. So when you're working with groups, you basically get to decide exactly what content you want Poppy AI to pull from. You can copy your own voice by linking your own videos, or you can mix in other creators' videos if you like the way they deliver their content. For example, let's say I want to make a video about growing lettuce, but I want it in the style of Mr. Beast. I could make one group with a video on growing lettuce, and then another group with a couple of Mr. Beast's videos. Poppy will blend those together and give me a script that explains how to grow lettuce, but in that high-energy Mr. Beast delivery style. And what's also incredible here is just how visual the whole process is. Instead of sitting down and writing really long, complicated prompts, you can literally just drag and drop a few videos and Poppy builds from that. If you want, you can even take it further. Add a group of thumbnails and ask it to generate thumbnail ideas for you. Or maybe you've written a post on how you like to structure your emails, drop that in, and it can start writing email drafts in your style. It can handle pretty much every type of content. But for YouTube specifically, the most powerful feature, in my opinion, is the ability to link videos and have the AI pull the core insights and style from them, then bake that straight into your script. That's what makes it really valuable for us as YouTube creators. And for that reason, I honestly have to give features a 9 out of 10. Poppy AI is clearly a tool that's built for serious content creators, the type of people who are really committed to growing their YouTube channels and want to consistently produce high quality videos. And you can see that in who's actually using it. Some well-known names like Pat Flynn, Matt Gray, and AI Guy are already using Poppy to power their content. These are not beginners, they're seasoned creators who understand the value of tools that actually deliver results, and that really shows in what Poppy offers. Because here's the thing, you basically get the functionality of Claude, Chatgpt, Grok, and other AI chatbots all rolled into one subscription. That means you don't need to keep paying for multiple tools. You just have Poppy, and everything is right there in one place. With the ability to connect sources, build groups, and use all of its features, it's not just another chatbot. It's a system built around how creators actually work. Now let's talk pricing. Poppy comes in at $399 a year, which works out to about $30 per month. That's literally just $10 more than ChatGPT or Claude on their own. And if you already have subscriptions to both, you're paying way more than what Poppy costs by itself. So for me, there's nothing about the pricing that feels inflated or unnecessary. In fact, it feels like a bargain given how much it replaces. So for pricing, I have to give it a strong 9 out of 10. Out of all the tools in this comparison, Poppy AI comes out as the winner. You can see the scores on the screen right now, and while ChatGPT and Claude both had strengths in certain areas, neither of them was built specifically for YouTube script writing. Poppy, on the other hand, really nails it. It helps you go from idea to script in one smooth process. It lets you pull in your brand voice, copy delivery styles that already work, and even generate thumbnails or titles with the same system. It's not just another chatbot, it's a tool that actually feels designed for creators like us. So now you actually know what the best script writing tool for YouTube is, and looking back at everything we tested, it's clear that Poppy AI really comes out on top. If you're serious about YouTube and you want to make high quality videos faster, this is honestly the tool I'd recommend. I've tested everything else out there, and Poppy AI is the only one that consistently delivers. To make this even easier for you, I've dropped the sign up link down in the description. Just click it, get started, and you'll be creating high quality, converting scripts in no time.